I ended up spending a lot of money. You feel frustrated, so now you spend it all again. We're gonna go over exactly what I spent in September. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video. First of all, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Elle, and I make videos about budgeting, living on a budget. I'm basically documenting my journey going from being bad with money or not so great with money to becoming pretty good with money. I also make cutesy lifestyle videos about living in New York City, but we always keep it really real and raw around here. So if all of that sounds good to you, then I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about money, first of all, if you couldn't tell from me wearing a dress shirt. But specifically, we're gonna talk about how I budget for a new month. It is October 1st today. To be honest, I could have done this yesterday, but I didn't have time, so we're doing this today. And I'm just going to take you through my process on how I budget for a new month. That starts by reflecting on the previous month, because we can't know where we're going if we don't know where we're coming from. It sounded really corny, but it is what it is. Let me tell you what we're gonna do in this video. First part, I'm gonna be yapping about my feelings about money. Again, that's more of the reflection part. I think the psychological aspect of money is very important when it comes to budgeting and becoming good with money. Second of all, we're gonna go over exactly what I spent in September, how much I spent on each category. The third part will be showing you how I budget for a new month, going into each category and just sharing my overall spending budget and how I keep it to a certain amount. If you've seen my last budgeting video where I was talking about my monthly budget, you'll see that I've changed some things a little bit to improve the process. So, first of all, my feelings about money in September. First of all, let me give you a little bit of context about my history with money. I was raised by a single mother who had 3 children, including me. I feel like growing up, I never lacked anything. I always had everything I needed. But that being said, I was always very aware that we had a limited supply of money. It just kind of always felt like things were pretty tight for the most part. And so I think as an adult, when I started earning my own money, I had this kind of like reaction, which I have heard is pretty common. And that was to kind of feel like now I have my own money, and I felt like I was in a place of lack for so long that I just spent it all. And then you get into that dynamic where you have money now, and then you spend it all, and then you find yourself in that position where you don't have any more money and you need to like scrimp for days or weeks sometimes because you've kind of like spent it all up front. And then again, like let's say you get paid, you get a lot of money again, and because you were in this place of lack for so long, you feel frustrated, so now you spend it all again, and you kind of like find yourself into this loop. And that's exactly the vicious circle that I found myself in for so many years. Also how I got into a little bit of credit card debt that I'm still working on paying off. So all that to say, didn't have great habits with money, but I think the most important thing for me was to first realize that my relationship with money was mostly psychological, and that I needed to fix my relationship with money in order to become good with money. It doesn't matter how much I make. I think I would have always had that issue of not having money if I didn't start working on fixing my relationship with money. Fast forwarding to talking about last month in August, because that's gonna be an important part. Well, in July, my boyfriend moved in. We got the apartment that I lived in. Most of the apartment, we have 2 rooms. Did a lot of redecorating and buying furniture, and I ended up spending a lot of money. Although I still bought like cheap things for the most part, and I was careful-ish with what I bought, I spent too much money. to me, that felt kind of like a relapse. And I was a little bit disappointed in myself. I dipped into my credit cards again, which I was working really hard to pay off, but trying to give myself kindness. And in September, I felt like, not like I had given up, quote unquote, but I just didn't really look at how much I spent. I just know that I was feeling frustrated with money because of what I had done in August. All that to say that I ended up calculating everything that I spent in September, because no matter how much damage I had done, I wanted to know. It's important to know. You can't avoid it. Even if it's bad, don't avoid it. It's better to know, believe me. And it turns out that I actually didn't overspend that much. I think because I had spent so much in August, like subconsciously I was being careful. Turns out I am okay. And I feel like that realization was like, and I'm actually a lot better than I used to be about money. Like, I did okay even though I wasn't paying too much attention to it. So, felt relieved and extra motivated to keep going for the rest of the year and be really good with my budget. Every month I want to do this video of reflecting on the past month and moving forward into the new month and budgeting. So the other thing that I understood also from my original budget to moving into my new process is I need more flexibility, because having a fixed amount attributed to each category each month is not necessarily realistic. I'm gonna show you my new, more flexible process. We're gonna go over what I spent in September. Let's go up to my desk now. We just moved to my desk, and I also grabbed a drink because I'm about to do a lot of talking. I've been drinking the LaCroix. This is a mango flavor. My friend actually got me some the other day when she came over. Love the mango flavor. Let me hit record. Hopefully it's recording. All right, so let me just quickly walk you through my new template. And by the way, I know that there are some more detailed, more complex templates out there that, you know, you can see what card you've spent money on, your investment, things like that. Honestly, at this point, I'm keeping it really simple because I'm still at, you know, the early stages of my journey, and all of the money that I save currently is going towards paying off my credit cards. But if you're at the same stage of your journey as me, I would recommend that you start small as well. So let's do this together. September money. So I have my monthly income here, which is my 2 paychecks, and then you'll see whole monthly expense and cash balance, but I'm gonna go in detail of how much I have spent. Also, quickly, a recap on my main money goals. I aim to keep my spending budgets between $3,000 and $3,500 so I can save at least $2,000 a month. So what has changed since my last budget tracker that I had is that I created more granular categories for each thing. As you can see, I added a lot of different colors, which honestly kind of is a simple thing, but makes me excited about making my budget. And then at the beginning of each month, which is what I'm gonna do next, I set a budget for each. But the difference with the previous one is that I don't really have a set budget. I have a budget in mind approximately for each category, but I also give myself flexibility. I give myself some room to adapt and adjust those budgets depending on what I know is to come. Let's just get through all of my expenses for September. So I wrote down all of my daily expenses, and then I assigned them a category, and then you see there's a formula that pulls all of the expenses for each category from that daily expenses list. So started by spending some money on coffee. I have a pretty high coffee budget. I've been trying to cut it down, but I do work from home, so I spend a lot of time working at coffee shops as well. You know, for me, it's worth it. Health and wellness. So I recently switched gyms, and you'll see that I paid for 2 gym memberships this month, but I still had to pay for my last gym membership because they actually make you pay for an extra month when you want to cancel, which is kind of a scam, but You know what? I'm glad I'm not at that gym anymore. Coffee again. Groceries. So I do most of my groceries at Trader Joe's every month, and I try to buy everything there just because it's cheaper. But sometimes I have some random grocery runs when I need to grab a couple things. So the smaller grocery are usually from those, small grocery runs. And I saw that I had quite a few in September. So it kind of like taught me something about maybe I should plan my meals better and try to avoid all these little tiny grocery runs. Again, coffee, $5.44. I try to keep it simple when I order coffee, by the way. Usually I either get a cold brew or regular drip coffee, so try to keep it around $5 and not get a crazy $8 latte. Not that that never happens. I am human after all. But eating and drinks out, so that's another category I included when I get wine. To me, that's like an unnecessary quote unquote expense. I count that as drinking out. You'll see that I bought quite a lot of wine in September. I wonder why, but I love a good bottle of wine. What can I say? And my boyfriend's the same, so we love to have wine. And that must have been a weekend, if I had to guess, because those two are next to each other. Target. So you're gonna see that there's 3 Target expenses here. We went into a Target to buy some like fall items, but I also needed some regular Target items. I usually try to keep my Target budget to $100 a month because I use it for, things that I just like to spend money on at Target because it makes me happy, like candles and little bits for the house, but also just household items. I remember not getting everything from that one Target, so I think we went to another Target, and then I ended up making an online order. Transportation, that's just taking the train. Groceries, another random grocery run. I got myself some cute fall slippers from Amazon. Another random grocery run, $8.95, $5.77. See, again, this shows kind of disorganized because why did I go to the grocery store twice in a day? Amazon, I ordered a pegboard that I still have not installed. That's my Apple bill, $5.43. I believe that's for my iCloud. I rented a movie on Prime, probably. That's money well spent in my opinion because I love watching movies. Another coffee, $14.99, health and wellness. That is my Natural Cycles subscription. That's the method of contraception that I use. $2.90 is for MTA, the train. I spent a little bit of money on thrifting in September. One of my goals in September was to kind of re-explore my style a little bit. I got myself an iced tea the day that I went thrifting. $57.81. I wrote this as Trader Joe's going a bit crazy on fall items. That was not a regular weekly grocery run, and I remembered that, so that's why I wrote it down. So that was a little bit extra for like buying all the fall items. Got myself some pumpkins for $4.47, $7.61 on bagels. Sometimes I like to get myself a bagel on the weekend for breakfast. Went thrifting again. I think that was on the same day, but sometimes those charges get processed at different times on my card. I pay for Epidemic Sound, which is what I use to get music for my YouTube videos. $2.90 again for the train. I had another Apple bill, $9.99. I think I was charged for Apple TV, which I do not mean to have. I must have forgotten to cancel after the free trial. Always how they get you, isn't it? But again, that's why it's really important to track your expenses, because you see things like that and you're like, I didn't mean to have Apple TV. I do not use Apple TV. $5.44 on coffee. Again, another random grocery run. $19.42. I think that was just some drinks out when we went out with friends. Coffee. Like I said, I am only human. So I wrote crazy pumpkin spice latte. Why? Because I went to get a pumpkin spice latte and I asked for an extra shot and somehow it ended up being $10. And I swear, like, when she told me $10, I was like, why? Anyway, we all make mistakes, right? Another random grocery run, about $25, $5.99. That was another coffee. I think that was probably me going to get a drink and being pretty reasonable. I probably ordered a cheap beer. $10.99, that's my Prime Video subscription. That's another thing that I've noticed that I need to now take care of, is that I shouldn't be charged for Prime Video because I already pay for my Prime account. And somehow there's been like a few Prime Video charges on my card I think I might have 2 Amazon accounts by accident. I'm gonna investigate that now that I've tracked my expenses, and I know, because I definitely don't want to be spending random $10 here and there on subscriptions that I do not need. Regular Trader Joe's, that was our regular Monday grocery run. It was pretty low, so usually it's more around $100, $150 every week. So, you know, that kind of evened out with all the other random grocery runs. Transportation, MTA, $14.04 on laundry. I have now decided to sometimes go to have my laundry taken care of and folded at the laundromats. $35.38, that was for Aaron's birthday. I got him some gifts, and I believe that some of them I didn't pay in full. I did the pay in 4 with PayPal with no interest. I paid $129.19 for my phone bill, which is the same every month. Paid $1,200 for rent, which again is the same every month. Again, Aaron's birthday, I bought a few things for his cake and candles, things like that. $11.99 for Spotify, $17.94 again on wine. I think a few of these were actually me buying things to make like Aaron's birthday brunch. And then we had a day for Aaron's birthday where we ate out, we got oysters. I kind of forgot, but we basically drank and ate out quite a bit. I spent $238 on a rug. So I guess I kind of continued to go crazy on the apartment. Not that much though. In September, nothing compared to August. I get them from Ruggable. Honestly, rugs can get really expensive, so a little over $200 for a rug is really not that bad. I bought my SPF lotion from Amazon, spent $9.39 on Lyft. Honestly, Lyft and Uber is where I did really good in September. I think I only have 2 charges. I spent $45 on an ottoman. I guess I put my SPF under Amazon, but I could also just put it on like personal care because it was from Amazon, but not like a random thing from Amazon. So I'll put it under personal care. Moisturizer, I also got that from Amazon, so it makes sense to have that under personal care as well. Some wine, again. Tretinoin, I spend $40 every month on my Tretinoin. I actually have to check because I have a new insurance plan with my new job and might be able to get that to be covered now, because it is prescription. Cicaplast cream, also for my skincare routine, $18.50. $5.22 on a city bike, $14.23 on another city bike. Those can get expensive when you get the electric one, but just like the non-electric ones can be horrible. Like if you get a bad bike, like the gears are all messed up. Anyway, new gym membership. So I got a new gym membership for $171.98. I think there was a $10 fee for the card, so it's going to be about $160, $165 every month moving forward. In my building a new routine video, I was talking about how I signed up for a new gym. They have yoga, they have a co-working space, they have the regular gym, and it's also, and most importantly, a climbing gym, which I have not utilized yet. I've never climbed before, or I did it once for like a work event, but I might get into it. We'll see. Anyway, still worth it, even if it's just yoga, regular gym, and co-working space. So, camera payment. So I bought this new camera, which is a vlog camera from DJI in August, I believe. That was the last payment. I, again, did the pay in 4 without any interest from PayPal, so that was the final payment for this camera. $17.41, I got Ziggy a cute little sweater. If you've seen my building a routine for fall video, you know what I'm talking about. Groceries, random grocery run again. Prime Video, this is where I put Prime Video ×2 question mark. I do not know where this is coming from, and I am going to investigate it, believe me. $16.32 Amazon Prime membership, that is the one and only Prime subscription that I should be paying for. So That's the one and only. The other ones have to go. $15.80 on drinks out, $44 on drinks out. I did go out a little bit more than usual this month just because I decided I do need to spend time with my friends and relax and enjoy life sometimes. Still kept it pretty much under budget, I believe, though. Transportation, so that was an Uber, probably coming back from whatever night I was on. Coffee, $4.26. Transportation, MTA gets my money yet again, $9.99. All right, so if this was Apple TV, I don't know what the other... Listen, guys, I need to figure out my subscriptions. Oh, never mind, I lied. This was my last camera payment. So I guess I paid 2 of those in September. And then last but not least, my Netflix subscription, which in my opinion is the one that is worth it the most, because I watch Netflix quite a lot and I pay for the one with ads because I'm cheap, and because why would I pay $17 when I can pay $7 something? Anyway, now let's go look at the summary. Oop, that could have been really bad. I just hit the straw of my drink. That could have been really bad. Let's take a moment to be grateful that it didn't spill on my laptop. Anyway, I'm gonna put it far away. Let's look at the summary of each category that I have here. Oops, leave it. So, fixed bills, obviously they're fixed, so it would be surprising if I paid more than usual. Groceries, I went a little bit over $46, but you know, again, if I hadn't gone on all of these random grocery runs, I could have actually underspent in groceries. So let's see if maybe I'll budget it to a little lower for October. Coffee, I actually very much underspent. I honestly used to go to coffee shops to work almost every day. So that's why I had budgeted originally much higher for coffee, but I found myself making coffee at home a lot more in September. And I think I might continue to do that in October, so I might set myself a lower budget for coffee. And health and wellness, I overspend a little bit, but that should even out when I don't pay for an extra gym membership that I don't use. Home, I had budgeted $200 because I thought, you know, I was continue to buy some little things to furnish the apartment. And I overspent by $88, but that's okay. Equipment, so that I decided to give myself an equipment budget because since I started YouTube, I've found myself buying little things here and there. In this case, I had budgeted exactly $362, which was the 2 payments that I knew were coming for my camera. And now this camera is all paid off, so happy about that. Miscellaneous, I had budgeted $50 and I didn't spend any. Everything had a category. $200 I had budgeted for eating and drinks out. Oh, I said earlier that I didn't overspend on that, and I totally did. So, scratch that. Definitely did overspend on eating and drinking out. But again, I had Aaron's birthday, so that was my fault for not budgeting more. Clothing, personal care, I had a budget of $100. Again, I overspent on that. I should have known that I was gonna need to refill a lot of skincare items, which I probably won't need to do in October, so overspent a little bit on that. $200 for Amazon. I usually spend much more money on Amazon, so turns out I completely underspent on Amazon. So again, you see that, you know, overspent on some, underspent on some, so I didn't do so bad in the end, but let's finish. Target, budgeted 100, spent 110, pretty good. Entertainment, budgeted 50, only spent 353, so that's pretty good. We did go to the movies in September, but Aaron very nicely invited me on a date, so he paid for it. Gifts, I had budgeted $100, only spent $67.63. I did end up paying for one of his gifts, like I said, with the paying for with no interest from PayPal, so it kind of cheated a little bit. Subscription, I'm only supposed to be spending $50 on subscriptions, and I spent $102, so we need to figure some stuff out there. Ziggy only cost me $17.41. So for his food though, let's talk about that a little bit, because I started him on the raw food diet maybe 3 months ago at this point. And I've kind of been buying his food at the same time that I buy groceries. So that's why I didn't really track that as Ziggy. It's probably falling into the grocery budget. So maybe in October, I'll make sure to like separate when I buy his food, just so I can calculate how much I actually spent on his food. But regardless, for September, spent $17.41 on his little sweater. And then for transportation, I overspent by about $15. Not too bad. Anyway, all that to say, no drum rolls. I had budgeted about a little under $3,500. I knew this was going to be a more expensive month. Like I said, I try to keep my budget between $3,000 and $3,500. $35 is a little bit more realistic if I'm being honest. And so for the total of September, I ended up spending $3,547.52. Like I said, I felt relieved after looking at everything I had spent, because again, I was a little bit careless in September still, but we're back to being good for October. So let's get into the third part of this video. I'm gonna try to make sure this video is not an hour long, but if you stuck with me until now, let's budget for October. I actually went and added a utilities category because I realized that I didn't have it in September. That's mostly because Aaron took care of utilities in September, but I'll have to pay for some of them in October. For utilities, I'm going to budget $100. We'll have to pay gas and electricity. Groceries. So, considering my learnings from September, I think I could keep groceries under $250 this month, and we're gonna try to cut down on all the random grocery runs. For coffee, same thing. I feel like I'm gonna continue to make a lot of coffees at home and just kind of like settle into working from home at my new desk now that we have the office pretty much all set up. I think we can keep it to $50. For health and wellness, so that's going to include about $165 for my gym membership, and then there's going to be $15 for my natural cycles. Let me think if there's something else for health and wellness that I might spend money on. Oh, I need to buy my contacts, which is about $200 this month. So I'm actually gonna have to bump up my budget for health and wellness. So between the contacts, gym membership, and my natural cycles membership, that's $380. So I'm gonna bump it up to $400 for health and wellness, which is pretty high, but you know what? Again, this is how we shuffle things around to keep it all under $3,500 a month. So we're gonna see what we can save on. Home, I think we're good on home. I think I've done enough damage in September and August. The apartment's pretty much set up, so you know what, I'm gonna start by giving myself $50 just in case I want to buy a couple of things, but keep it low. Equipment, I don't really foresee to buy anything else when it comes to like YouTube or equipment, but again, I'm gonna give myself a little $50 budget in case I need to buy, I don't know, an SD card or things like that. Miscellaneous, I like to keep it at $50. Eating and drinking out, we're gonna keep it under $200 this month. We can do this. Clothing, personal care, I might still wanna go thrifting, you know? When it comes to skincare products, I have enough supply. That's gonna last me until November. Let me see, I do wanna get my nails done this month. We'll see, because again, let's look at the total and see if I can give myself a little bit more to get my nails done. And if not, you know what? That's the whole point. Sometimes you just have to save on something else. Amazon, let's keep it at $50. I shouldn't be spending too much money on Amazon this month. Target, let's make it $100 as usual. I think we should be good. Now let me make it $120 because I have a feeling we need a few more household items that we recently ran out of. Entertainment, am I planning on doing anything fun in October? Let me think. We have a Halloween party that's gonna be planned, but that's with work, so I'm not gonna pay anything for that. Maybe we'll go to movies once. I'll keep it under $50. Gifts, my friend Karen's birthday is in October, so I'm gonna put $50 so I can buy her a thing. Subscription, we are keeping it under $50 this month no going over Ziggy. So, you know what? I actually completely, I forgot because I have already spent that money yesterday, but I'm still gonna count that towards October. I had to take Ziggy to the vet for his annual checkup, and he had also a little bit of an ear infection. He's gonna be okay. He's got all the medication and stuff. But I did spend $600 at the vet, and I'll probably have to spend an extra 100 on other things for him this month. So yep, we're already over budget, and I probably need about $60 for transportation. So we're gonna have to cut down on some stuff this month. And that's okay. Having a dog is expensive. You know what? I mean, I do have a hard saving goal of $2,000. So I can go, technically I could save $2,000 and spend 37 something. So we're fine. I think I'm just gonna keep my other categories to what they are because I'm trying to be realistic, guys. I feel like if I cut down on anything else, I might not meet my goal. And I feel like that would be, again, we're talking about the psychological aspect of finances and relationship with money. And I feel like if I try to give myself goals that are too strict, I might actually just quote unquote relapse and just spend too much and just give up. So I think this looks good for me. I might actually do a mid-month check, considering this is a little bit more of a strict month, and see if there's anything else that I need to account for. I'm a little over what I would prefer to have as my spending budget, but still meeting my $2,000 saving goal. And we'll do a mid-month check-in to make sure that we're all okay. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hope that, you know, this was useful to you guys. Again, I'm still in the early stages of my finance, budgeting, being good with money journey. If you're at the same stage of your journey, or even if you're further in the journey and you enjoy watching someone figure it out and get better at it, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for a mid-month check-in. I'll do that definitely this month because I need to make sure that I'm able to follow and stay under this more strict budget. That's it for me today. I'll see you guys in my next video.